guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I can do the final update to a very popular video I did back in the spring titled, "My ex dumped me to be a free spirit, had 300 guys, and is now begging me to take her back." And guys, that story, I did a whole bunch of videos on that back in the spring. And it's been 3 months since I did what we thought was the final update. But I knew with that guy's wacko ex-girlfriend, it wouldn't be over, and he'd be back to tell more updates, and here we are. And as a quick review, because it's been a long time, this is the guy who had a girlfriend, high school and college, and out of nowhere, she cheated on him and broke up with him to essentially be a free spirit. In other words, a pro carousel rider. And after that guy got over her and moved on, she behind the scenes was hooking up dudes left and right, to the point that she has a reputation so big that bare minimum her number is around 300, where she had a reputation for having multiple dudes in one night, that type of thing, because that's what any strong, empowered, young Gen Z, late stage millennial effiness does nowadays. Can't be empowered without doing that. And this guy moved on, and then one day, because he's moved on, college, sounds like he's in his career, ran into her at a wedding for a mutual friend. And by then she's, wanted to talk to him, sat next to him and all that. And he was being polite and cordial because this guy's not one to hold grudges. And next thing you know, she's chasing after him, trying to get him back, even though she's the one that dumped him years earlier to ride the carousel. And this guy wants nothing to do with her, and she won't leave him alone. And this thing just dragged out of many videos because he couldn't understand why she was coming back and all that. And I told him, essentially, she's done riding the carousel, she's looking to settle, and she sees you as a sure thing because you were such a good guy back in the day. She doesn't think that you've changed and you have evolved. Well, this guy has. He's become RP'd thanks to his life experience and this channel and others. And she's become crazy, stalking him, having her friends harass him. It's just one thing after another over multiple videos. You all remember. And pretty much no guy is interested in dating her. She has this reputation that's so bad. And what's funny is this is what's happening more and more in these stories I go over. These gals are so strong and empowered, they got to hook up with every dude in town. And then once they get out of college and they're ready to settle, no guy wants them. But yet they can't handle the dealing with their own actions. And the last video is when things got so bad with even her own family reached out to him because she was losing it. They thought she was going insane. And he agreed to do a Skype or Zoom type of talk with them, which a lot of you guys advised he didn't, but he did anyway, to pretty much let him know what's happening, and said if she doesn't leave me alone, because she's always harassing him and her friends are harassing him, he's going to do a restraining order. And that's pretty much where he left off and all that. And I knew she wouldn't disappear. I knew there'd be more BS down the road, and here we go. So, long intro, but I had a lot to cover because it's been a long time. So it starts off, or continues, he says, "Hello, SSM. It's been a while, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit that you and almost everyone in the comment section were right about my situation not being over yet." Bro, have we ever been wrong about that? Really? With these crazy gals, it doesn't stop, right? I've said before, it's the gift that keeps on giving to us for entertainment, but for guys like you, this shit never stops. It's only going to stop when you do what we all say pretty much from the first video, restraining order. And I know you know this, so I'm not going to get into that again. Overall, this is a positive update, though Sophia actually ends up messing up and has embarrassed herself and her friends on multiple fronts. I thought that she would stop after that, but I did not expect her to go to the lengths that she did afterwards just to spite me. She's a pissed off young effetist. What do you expect? That's what they do. They spite every dude. So, if you're wondering what happened, I'll just tell you the gist of it. Sophia, obviously his ex from a long time ago, the pro carousel rider, missed 300. Sophia tried to infiltrate my group of friends, and then when that failed, she got a bunch of her effing friends to have an intervention on me as revenge for talking to her family and ruining her image while I was on a date. I've already sent out papers for a restraining order a while back. It's currently being processed. And let me tell you, SSM, this whole mess could have been avoided if I listened to your comment section on the last video. I'm glad you admit that. A lot of guys don't want to listen to me about the things I say, and they just think that the shit keeps dragging on. You got to get that restraining order. You got to lay down the law. Otherwise, Your kindness will be perceived as weakness, and you'll deal with more bullshit. Bullies, and that's really what she is, and her friends only respond to strength. And by you trying to be patient and benefit the doubt and all that stuff, they take advantage of it. They see it as weakness. I should have known better than to think it was over, but at least I now know who I can and cannot trust within my circle of friends. Some of my friends have already sided with Sophia and disclosed information about me because they thought it was the right thing to do for all women everywhere. But don't worry, I believe this is the actual final update for this whole mess. We shall see, amigo. But this whole situation is making you see who your friends are and who your friends are not. And the ones that aren't on your side, cast them aside. Life is short. You don't need that shit. So let me give everyone a short summary of this first week. Absolute peace. After the talk with Sophia's family, everything went super quiet. I went out with my friends and even went on a couple of dates without any messages or flying monkeys from Sophia. My sister did warn me that Sophia might be scheming behind the background, but I ignored her warnings as I thought she was just being paranoid. This guy's sister knew Sophia from back in the day, and she has her number. He should have listened to his sister. However, what I failed to see was a couple of my friends, who are both guys and gals who are pro-effinists, start to ask questions about my life and started to hang out with me more recently. Well, then don't give people important details about your life that you can't quite trust. Or don't waste your time with people that you don't quite trust. Better to have no friends than have half-ass friends. At the time, I had no idea about their agendas as they were great pretenders and I had concealed the true motives to being around me and my circle. At this point, almost everyone is aware of her big 300 number, and I just want to say that this was just an estimate. Again, it could be it could be more or less. However, what I did find out is that Sophia had actually contracted, wait for it, syphilis, but was cured. Miss 300 got syphilis. Imagine that. And by the way, that 300, you all know the joke. Whatever it is, multiply times 3. She could be Miss 1000. Caught syphilis, huh? Why do I bring that up? It's because most people who are now hanging out with me started to try to plant ideas within my inner circle. BS like body count really doesn't matter. It's experiences that they gain. Not all STDs are for life. These messages were never really said to me directly, but they were said to my friends with the hopes they'd somehow convince me that Sophia's situation isn't all that bad. Remember, guys, from the previous video, no guy would date her anymore because she has such a reputation. No guy would date her, and she's upset because she wants to get married and have kids, and other people she knows are married and have kids and all that. So this guy's her last true hope. This is why she and her fat-ass effing friends will not leave him the hell alone. This is why I said, restraining order, restraining order, restraining order. And if I recall, you guys that watched that said the same thing. Thankfully, we found this out before one of the boyfriends of the girl who was in on the plan decided to expose this whole plan on social media. I never met the guy, but he messaged me out of nowhere telling me that some of the people hanging out with me were secretly on Sophia's side, and that he and his girlfriend had broken up because of this whole conspiracy. Good Lord, this is like truth is stranger than fiction scenario. He then posted on his social media, further damaging Sophia and her effing friend's reputation. So at that point, I just said F it, and I got her restraining order papers out on the way. Then her friends tried to go on a tirade about how men are trash, etc. But at this point, no one gives a crap about what they have to say, since they've been exposed as flying monkeys for a girl who is trying to settle despite her 300 men body count and her past with syphilis. I'm surprised she has a whole lot of other things crawling around down south there. So again, I thought it was all over, but nope, more drama had to happen because effing gals just love to mess with the lives of normal, happy men. Well, misery loves company. So I went on a date with a tourist who was just looking to have some fun. Everything went well. We were just chilling at a local bar, and then suddenly some of her hippo friends appeared out of nowhere to give me a piece of their minds. How did they know you were at this particular place? Please tell me you aren't posting this shit on social media. Please tell me you aren't telling people that were then telling her wacko friends to come and sabotage your date. He says, think of incoherent screaming and angry rants coming from 500-pound women. They were kicked out of the establishment and the police were called. I don't think those women are going to go near me ever again, but if they do, I'm pressing charges. Well, press charges anyway. See what happens. My date was unfortunately ruined, but that's okay since the restraining order won't take too long now and I'll have my peace of mind. Well, it's some chick, whatever, but still, they ruined a chance for you to get some ass. So that's what they achieved their goal. I've also informed Sophia's family about their restraining order, to which they agreed to testify against Sophia if anything comes to court. And they were also surprised about the whole syphilis thing. The news about that spread like wildfire because of the previously mentioned ex-boyfriend's social media posts from earlier. So this ended horribly for Sophia. Her reputation is in the gutter. Most of her hippopotamus-looking friends are starting to distance themselves away from her since people started calling them the STD sisters. After everything that happened. And her future really is looking like it'll be spent with the cats. Well, I feel bad for those kitties. I am a cat lover. I'm an animal lover, but I'm especially a cat lover. I got 2 cats at home. I've mentioned it before, which shocks a lot of you guys. So while I want cats to have good homes, I don't want them to be with nut jobs like this. Good Lord. She brought all this shit on herself, brother, and I know you know this. If she just left me alone from the beginning, and that would have been the end of it. But nope, she just had to keep pushing and pushing this with this shit, and now her and her friends have been publicly shamed. And the best part is that I didn't really need to do anything other than getting a restraining order. Again, for her and her wacko friends, you know, it isn't just about you, it's also about fighting the man. You know? Sticking it to the men. Fighting the fight for all the gals out there that should be able to free to hook up with every dude they want and do all these things, but God forbid they're not wanted by guys later on down the road. They're not just fighting for her; they're fighting for themselves. And if they're these 500-pound hippopotamuses, believe me, their options are limited. So they got nothing else to do right now. So it's kind of annoying that Sophia and her friends wouldn't leave me alone. But I actually found out there's more that I didn't let in affect me. The angrier they became... let me just read that again. He says, but I actually found out that the more that I didn't let affect me, the angrier they became. I think my I don't give a crap attitude towards this whole mess somehow made Sophia and her friends angrier. I guess FNS don't like it when they are ignored, huh? Yes, that's exactly it. You know, narcissists can't handle people ignoring them and them not getting attention. And so obviously it makes them insane. So they got to do more and more things to get attention and raise holy hell. Because, well, what else are they going to do? Well, thanks, SSM. This probably is my last update on this whole mess. We shall see, brother. Forgive any typos or any spelling mistakes as I wrote this on my phone. I will try to be more vigilant when it comes to Sophia and keep an eye out for her antics. I hope you and your viewers have a great day. Well, bro, it was good to hear from you. I was starting to wonder, because I do remember, believe me, I remember a lot of the people that write in the stories, especially the ones with wacko gals, and especially ones that have multiple updates like yours. I'm glad you're doing well in spite of the crazies, but we told you. All right? I mean, don't mean to be a dick, but I got to say I told you so. And all the people here will say I told you so with regards to the restraining order. And it wasn't over and all that. So no more Mr. Nice Guy. You said you got the restraining order being processed, or whatever the hell that means. So when you get it, file it, whatever you got to do, so she can leave you alone and you can move on with your life. Because, guys, I want you guys to have drama for your lives, and you can't have this when you got these wackos harassing you and bugging you all the time in your lives. And for this dude here, same thing. So file that restraining order, do what you got to do, and when push comes to shove, you got to take action. And I know you know this, but let's make it happen this time. And that way then you can move on finally and have peace in your life and focus on your career, focus on your purpose, whatever the hell that may be, and you're going to be all right. But I appreciate the update, and I'm glad you're doing well personally. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that wondered what happened to you in Miss 300. But syphilis, not surprised, and that's pretty funny. I know I'm going to hell, but I don't care. I'll say it anyway. It's pretty funny. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And also, guys, you got a great story you'd like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will down the road. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.